Many thanks for joining today's edition of ASO Briefing. I am Richard Alichenwanyebe. Our top stories. President Tinubu approves 27 road projects worth 3.9 trillion naira across 15 states. Federal government registers 32 million students on new national database. And in sports, Morocco downs Netherlands to reach World Cup last 16. You're watching ASO Briefing. Don't forget that you can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, StarTimes TV channel 127, and on Free TV, look us up on channel 507. On the UHF band, you can find us on channel 38. Now we go ahead with details of all our stories, where we begin with Justice Muhammad Umar of the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted a 200 million naira bail to the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress AAC and publisher Omoyele Sowore, who is facing alleged cybercrime charges. In a ruling on Tuesday, Justice Umar ordered Sowore to produce two sureties. One of the sureties must be a traditional ruler from Showore's community, while the other must own landed property in Abuja. The court also directed that the sureties be verified by the prosecution. In addition, Justice Umar ordered Sowore to deposit his international passports with the Deputy Chief Registrar of the High Court pending the determination of the case. The judge thereafter released the defendants to his lawyers and adjourned the case until Monday, July 6th, for the opening of Showore's defense. President Bola Tinubu has approved 27 road projects valued at over 3.9 trillion naira across 15 states as part of the federal government's drive to improve road infrastructure nationwide. Minister of Works David Umahi disclosed this on Monday while briefing journalists after the Federal Executive Council meeting held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. According to the minister, the approved projects span Adamawa, Benue, Cross River, Ebonyi, Ekiti, Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Niger, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Plateau, Taraba, and Yobe states. Umahi said the council approved the re-award of the 409-kilometer dual carriageway project in Niger State under the tax credit scheme to businessman Aliko Dangote at a cost of 1.8 trillion naira. The minister stated that other approvals include 86 billion naira each for the reconstruction of the Enugu-Abakaliki Road with a flyover and the Adekbo, Ajayi, Tese, Akba, Otupo Road traversing Benue and Cross River states. President Bola Tinubu has commissioned the newly rehabilitated 15-kilometer Karo road network in the Abuja Municipal Area Council, describing the project as a major step towards easing traffic congestion and boosting economic activities in the Federal Capital Territory. The project stretches from Karo Interchange to Customs Clinic Junction and adjoining roads and features solar-powered street lights. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the commissioning on Monday, President Tinubu said the intervention addresses years of gridlock along the busy Karo corridor and reducing traffic time and improving mobility for residents, commuters, and businesses. He said the project will inject new life into the local economy. The president said the road project, coming a week after the commissioning of the Karo water supply scheme, reflects his administration's commitment to improving infrastructure and living standards under the Renewed Hope agenda. He added that the installation of solar-powered street lights would improve security and road safety. President Tinubu commended the FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike for driving infrastructure development across the territory and praised the contractor Abdul Val Nigeria Limited for delivering the project on schedule and to high engineering standards. Earlier, Minister Wike said all road projects requested by Karo residents had now been completed, describing the project as a fulfilled promise. He urged Nigerians to judge government by their performance rather than political affiliation, and called on residents to protect the infrastructure from vandalism and indiscriminate waste disposal. The federal government on Monday defended its sweeping economic reforms, insisting that although the measures had been painful for businesses and households, they have helped pull Nigeria away from fiscal distress and lay the foundation for long-term growth. Vice President Kashim Shettima and the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, said the removal of fuel subsidy, foreign exchange reforms, and tax changes were necessary to rescue the economy from years of structural distortions. The government, however, acknowledged that businesses and ordinary Nigerians were still bearing the burden of high inflation, elevated interest rates, and rising operating costs. Speaking at the 5th Nigeria Employers Summit in Abuja with the theme Leveraging Reforms and ESG for Enterprise Competitiveness and Inclusive National Growth, Shetima, represented by his Special Advisor on General Duties, Aliyu Modibo Umar, said the current administration inherited an economy burdened by unsustainable subsidies, weak government revenues, and declining investor confidence. He said the easy option would have been to postpone difficult decisions, but that leadership required taking hard choices. According to the Vice President, the Renewed Hope agenda was designed to confront long-standing distortions that had weakened the economy. The federal government says it has registered 32 million students on its digital National Education Information Management System, which will be officially launched on Wednesday, July the 1st, 2026. Ahead of the unveiling, the National Project Coordinator of the Special Programs Operations and Implementations Unit in the Office of the Minister of Education, Mr. Adebayo Onigbanjo, disclosed that the DNEMIS serves as the core of the Nigeria Education Data Infrastructure. He said the initiative is under the Nigeria Education Sector Renewal Initiative, aimed at providing accurate, timely, and integrated education data to improve planning, budgeting, policy making, and service delivery.
NMS and NEDI infrastructure is really trying to get us to that position. So by having data, I think today we have 32 million students already on the platform. That is starting giving us an indication of where the students are. We're also understanding their journey from when they start and where they drop out. This is immediately giving us insight into where their challenges and where the investments need to go. The reason children drop out of school sometimes is because there's no next opportunity for them to get into a classroom. By understanding where this data tells us that there are lacks of classrooms, it allows the government to focus on that and potentially reduce the number of out-of-school children. So for us, it's really important to understand that every school becomes visible, every student gets counted, every teacher is known, and then every spend that the ministry and the federal government makes is actually going into something that is trackable.
The National Coordinator of the Nigerian Education Data Infrastructure, Abubakar Isa, said the platform fully complies with Nigeria's data protection regulations and international standards for information security. Earlier, the Special Advisor to the Minister of Education on Digital Communications and E-Learning, Ms. Mojoyin Adebajo, described DNEMIS as a significant milestone in Nigeria's drive towards digital transformation in education. The ministry also acknowledged the technical support provided by UNICEF and the University of Oslo in developing the platform, and invited stakeholders to participate in Wednesday's official launch and the inauguration of DNEMIS state implementation teams. Now, troops of Operation Hurricane K have rescued 9 students abducted by suspected Boko Haram terrorists following an attack on Government Day Secondary School Lassa in Askiru Uba local government area of Borno State. The students were reportedly writing the ongoing senior secondary school certificate examination when the attackers struck in the early hours of Monday. The attack left 1 teacher dead and another injured, while the terrorists fled with an unspecified number of female students and several motorcycles. Troops supported by local vigilante members immediately launched a pursuit operation to intercept the fleeing insurgents. Security sources say the troops engaged the terrorists in a fierce gun battle, forcing them to abandon some of the abducted students. 8 victims were rescued during the initial operation, while 4 motorcycles used by the attackers were recovered. A follow-up operation led to the rescue of 1 more student, bringing the total number of rescued victims to 9, as troops recovered another motorcycle abandoned by the fleeing terrorists. However, 1 soldier and a vigilante member were killed during the encounter. Military authorities say troops have continued to dominate suspected escape routes and have deployed additional reinforcement to prevent the terrorists from escaping with the remaining captives. They expressed confidence that their ongoing operations would lead to the rescue of the other abducted students and further degrade the insurgents' activities in the area. Troops of Operation Hurricane K have rescued 10 National Examination Council candidates and teachers abducted during Monday's terrorist attack on the Technical Secondary School in Lassa Askiru Uba local government area of Borno State. According to the military, the victims were freed after troops supported by air assets intercepted the fleeing terrorists and engaged them in a fierce gun battle. One of the rescued teachers says the superior firepower of the soldiers forced the suspected ISWAP terrorists to abandon their captives and flee. He also commended the swift intervention of the troops, saying it prevented what could have been a far greater tragedy.
Yes, there were many soldiers quite okay, and they helped in making us to escape, because they came with gun trucks, and then their firepower was even what made us to escape, because they came with heavy firepower, and then the terrorists began to run away. So, they could not even return the fire, because the firepower from the soldiers and the was very, very strong. Yes.
You do well asking to introduce himself.
Now, when ASO Briefing returns, we have more stories on business and others. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
From June 11th till July 19th, everything fit way. The FIFA World Cup 2026 go happen. Touchlight all 104 matches on top 4 correct channels. Sharply grab your GoTV decoder, GoTenna plus 1 month dolly for only 15,000 naira. Live on Super Sport, only on GoTV. From June 11th till July 19th, everything fit way. The FIFA World Cup 2026 go happen. Touchlight all 104 matches on top 4 correct channels. Sharply grab your GoTV decoder, GoTenna plus 1 month dolly for only 15,000 naira. Live on Super Sport, only on GoTV.
You are watching ASO Briefing. Don't forget that you can watch us live on DSTV channel 392, StarTimes TV channel 127, and on Free TV, look us up on channel 507. On the UHF band, you can find us on channel 38. Now we go ahead with all of the remaining part of the bulletin. As part of efforts in uniting its students across tertiary institutions in Nigeria, the Igala Student Association Abuja chapter held its annual Cultural Day celebration to preserve its Igala cultural heritage, promote academic excellence, and advocate for student welfare and educational development. Oluwak Balumi Adeyemi tells us more.
President Igala Student Association Abuja chapter Abu Abdulmuminu, while addressing ASO Radio and Television in Abuja, expressed that the Cultural Day is part of efforts to build a united, responsible, and culturally grounded Igala student community that contributes positively to education, leadership, and societal development, both locally and globally. He further stressed the benefit of parental upbringing in order for them to preserve their cultural heritage.
The most significant of this event is its foster unity among Igalas. It brings about the lost, there are some identities that are lost in Igalas. So we are gathered here today to bring about the dead spirit in Igala land. What is this spirit that is dead? Spirit of love, spirit of unity, spirit of peace. And that is why we are here today, to bring our peoples together. In your house, in your room, you are speaking English to your children. How do you think they will grow up with your own language? So to all the parents out there, not just Igala, all the tribes in this world, speak your language to your children right from their birth. Let them grow up with their own tone, their own tonation. Let them see the beauty of your culture.
Special dignitaries and keynote speakers from the Igala tribe present at the event emphasized on the need of skills acquisition to various students.
Skill acquisition, the benefits of skill acquisition, especially among the youths today, is when we are equipped, you will be self-reliant. you will not depend on others. Then it will help you to gain employment.
So if I tell you this is the future I'm seeing, I won't be saying the truth. But what we are now, we are proud of it, and I think that's the future. So when another generation comes, they should continue to uphold the tradition.
The Igala Student Association is a unified body representing students of Igala region across tertiary institutions in Nigeria and in the diaspora. The association exists to serve as a common platform that brings Igala students together regardless of their field of study or institution. Belumi Adeyemi, ASO Television News.
The Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NATI, has reaffirmed the country's readiness for the forthcoming global EITI validation exercise, scheduled to begin on July 1st, 2026. NATI's Executive Secretary, Honorable Musa Ada, assured civil society of Nigeria's full preparedness for the upcoming global EITI validation during a consultative forum in Abuja, according to a statement by NATI's Director of Communications and Stakeholders Management. According to a Monday statement by NATI's Director of Communications and Stakeholder Management, Obiageli Onwara, he explained that the National Stakeholders Working Group has systematically addressed corrective actions from the last validation report, including stakeholder engagement, contract disclosure, resource-backed loans, subnational transfers, and state-owned enterprise transparency. NATI has also facilitated discussions on the new validation model, templates, and corrective actions with the three major constituencies: civil society, government, and companies. Honorable Adak further noted that NATI is working closely with government agencies, extractive companies, civil society organizations, and development partners to ensure all documentation and disclosures required under the 2023 EITI standard are complete and accessible. The acting High Commissioner to South Africa, Alexander Ajayi, has said the Nigerian government will engage with the South African government to seek compensation for Nigerians forced to leave behind businesses and properties amid anti-immigrant protests in the country. Ajayi disclosed this on Tuesday during an appearance on a television station as another batch of Nigerians were expected to arrive in Lagos from South Africa under the federal government's ongoing voluntary evacuation program. He said those being repatriated are Nigerians who voluntarily opted to return home ahead of the latest planned anti-immigrant protests. The envoy said the federal government had begun documenting businesses and properties abandoned by returnees and would engage the South African government to seek adequate compensation. The acting High Commissioner also dismissed claims that most Nigerians in South Africa are undocumented, insisting that they largely migrated to the country legally. He attributed the situation to delays by the South African Home Office in processing the renewal of immigration documents for many foreign nationals, saying the affected immigrants should not be blamed for the backlog. Now to sports. Morocco defeated the Netherlands in a penalty shootout to advance to the last 16 of the World Cup on Monday after a thrilling battle in Monterrey finished 1-1 after extra time. Morocco goalkeeper Yassine Bounou made the crucial save to block the Netherlands' fifth penalty from Crescencio Somerville before striker Ismail Saibari stepped up to blast home the winning spot kick that sealed a 3-2 shootout win. The victory sends Morocco into a last 16 clash with Canada in Houston on Saturday. An unfailing match had gone to extra time after Issa Diop had glanced in dramatic equalizer for Morocco in the first minute of stoppage time as the Netherlands closed in on victory. The Dutch had taken the lead midway through the second half with a goal from Cody Gakpo, playing just days after his partner had confirmed the death of the couple's unborn son. Liverpool forward Gakpo sank to the turf and appeared overcome with emotion as he was surrounded by teammates in a prolonged group embrace. But Morocco forced extra time when unmarked Diop headed home from substitute Chamsdine Talbi's cross in injury time. Morocco had created the better chances of a fractious encounter which saw players from both sides flying into tackles to test the patience of Brazilian referee Wiltop Sampaio. And that story on sports brings us to the end of our briefing for today. Many thanks for watching. I am Richard Alechenoanyebe.